What's going on, everybody? I'm sitting here live with one of my newest clients, Miss Renee Yancy, well known from being the wonderful woman that she is. Also, she has a wonderful talk show, Hey Renee. Look for it on the OMNI Plus network. It'll be airing soon. But just signing to our media group and working with us, coming over to our network from where you were in the past, what would be the number one question that you would have for me?
My biggest concern is, how is my content going to make money? How am I going to pay these bills?
That's right. I think that's a question that everybody have when it comes to content. How can my content make revenue? So I have something, and it's about to sound so taboo, and it's about to sound so superficial. But you remember when you was in middle school and they taught you about who, where, when, what, and how.
The 4 or 5 W's?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the same principle that we use when we create and architect these storylines.
Okay.
So your content in your show is think about that as one asset.
Okay.
So on the back end of an asset, so just say a brick of gold. Mm-hmm. Your TV show is a brick of gold.
It is.
But it has to be placed somewhere, or somebody has to make it worthy of being a brick of gold.
Okay.
Because if it's not a brick of gold, it can be a brick of anything.
Right.
So it's like appraisal. How do I appraise my content to make it worth this? That's why value of everything go up and down. So what we do is we create what we call valuable content, the real day-to-day storyline of your life that ties people to the asset.
Ooh.
And that makes the market value go up.
Okay.
So shooting content, we're not looking for pretty content. That's for the show.
Okay.
We're not looking for perfect content. That's for the show. We're not looking for none of that. What we're looking for is to be able to capture things that people can really gravitate to and that they can hold on to. Why do you think reality shows make so much money? It's because not just because of the drama, but people are invested into other people that they feel like they know more about.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
So it's almost this relatability.
Yes.
I can see myself in you, or the things you're doing, I do.
Bingo.
Too, type of thing.
Bingo.
Okay.
And it makes it easier for a person to pull out their credit card. It makes it easy for in that.
Because you're touching my emotions, you're touching my feelings.
Impulsive buyers.
Yeah.
When a person feel like, you got credibility, so that's what the who is.
Okay.
We want to know who you are. And then it goes to the what. What do you do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then the how. How can this benefit me? How do this fit in my life? How does this thing work? Or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the what. What is it that you offer? What's the message? What will I feel like when I interact with this? You feel what I'm saying?
Ooh, yes.
And then how? How can I get you to pay? You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
But it's just breaking it down in that segment where a person can honestly get everything that they need from the beginning to the end.
Okay.
To be able to know those steps of, it's kind of like a workflow or a framing where you go from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 to step 4. And we capture all of that in one long form. So when we do our ad copies and we splice it up and we get the promo, you'll be able to chop it up. So the who is going to be one segment.
Okay.
Then the what will be one segment.
Okay.
And then we tie those to it. So now a person is following the leader. They're following you. Because a lot of times people want to lead, but they're not leading. It's kind of like having a significant other. You want a leader. So if a leader is a leader, you shouldn't have to ask that leader what they're doing.
Touche. You don't have to ask the man who's the man, because they're already the man.
You understand what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And to be that, you have to show that.
Okay.
And that's where a lot of people have a disconnect, where their content don't convert. That's what we call it, converting content.
Okay.
It don't convert into a lead because you don't ask a person for a sale. 80% of the shots that is missed is the ones you don't take. So if I have a business or I have a brand or I have a service, it's no way that I'm not asking for the money. That's how I pay my bills.
Yeah.
So if DTE don't mind asking me for my money.
Every month.
And they're going to cut me off if I don't communicate with them. They're going to make me be a good communicator. But you have to have that same mentality that, okay, if I want these people to support my show, if I want these people to buy my product, if I want my content to do something, what am I doing for the people, not for myself? Not how pretty do I look?
Yes.
You got to do it for the people, because the people, that's where we want the support to come from.
Right.
The finances, the feeling, they have to be one with what you're doing, or what you're doing is just for you and you can't pay yourself. So we got to understand that. In order for our content to convert, we got to hit those factors, and we got to make sure that we create the most realistic experience that a person can endure in a short amount of time.
Okay.
If it's over 15 seconds and you haven't hit none of those points, you lost it. You lost it. You have a whole bunch of win. You're going to lose. Attention span's too short.
That part.
You know what I mean? So you got to catch a person within that 3 to 15 second market where they can understand what's going on, or they just going to keep scrolling. And we don't want them to keep scrolling. We want them to stay locked in so they can go to the next, so they can go to the next, so they can go to the next. We want to get them indulged in what we got going on.
Okay.
So that's the number one way that we lay out a framework for you to make money with your content.
Okay.
It's understanding that we got the asset, but we also need the valuation. We got to have something to give that asset value.
Okay.
So having a pretty show that's wonderful with good content is cool. But having something that a person can go to take them to the show is what's needed. That bridge. We call that bridge theory in sales. It's taking a person to a place where they didn't even ask to go, but they thank you once they get there. That's when you go on YouTube and you see them, oh, this show is so wonderful. Oh my God, I needed this. Oh my God. You go on TikTok and they're like, I needed to hear this. But imagine if you didn't put that there. Then what they're going to do is when they like that, they're going to double back and see, who the hell is this lady that's talking like this? And that's where we sell the products. We don't sell the products on the show. We sell the products in the valuation, because that's where the value is. The value is not in the show. The show is valuable, but the value is in you. The show means nothing without you. The business means nothing without you. You feel what I'm saying? So we want them to buy directly from the value source where they can get the real value. And then by proxy, they're going to support that. You feel what I'm saying?
This is...
People always say, okay, they talk about Power with 50 Cent. That show is a great show. But if the director wasn't 50 Cent, if the executive producer wasn't 50 Cent, would it do the same thing? And it's not per se because of his name did it. It's because it's a brand that fits his brand and he's the value. So when you see that, you're tied to his value already.
Oh my God.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then that just makes you already indulged in, okay, I want to indulge in this. And then it keeps going because his value, the psyche of it is, when you think about how 50 Cent is, how rough, and you see this show,
it's,
bingo.
Of course. Right.
Bingo. I want to see more. I want to do more. And it makes his value go up just as well as the show, because what you don't want to do is you don't want the show to go up in value, and then you are stagnant in value because you're the asset. So as the show go up, you want your personal brand to go up with it, because anything else, that show is just one show. You're going to do another segment. You're going to do something else. You was telling me about a comedy segment. You want that asset value to be the same. So these 19 million people, these 5 million people, these 3 million people that's indulging in this show that likes it, on the back end, they need something to see, touch, feel, believe in.
Gotcha.
You feel me? And that's where we're building that identity for you, so that content can have value and you can do whatever you want to do, because the value is in you. The value isn't in it, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Hopefully I answered your question.
You totally answered my question above even my expectation, and just the layers of it.
Yes.
And like you said, the bridging of it.
Yes.
But if you could expound upon when you said, we gave the example about 50 and the show Power, and then you said, Power rises, and if his brand doesn't, how would that happen? If your product is rising, doesn't your brand automatically rise too? No.
You ever been to a store and bought something and you don't know who owned it?
No.
So every product you buy from the store, you know who owns it.
I'm sorry. No. I'm thinking of the label. The label would tell you.
No, that's the brand.
That's the brand.
That's not the person.
I gotcha.
You understand what I'm saying?
I gotcha. Okay.
So we're gonna use 50 Cent for the same example. His brand was already established before the show, so it's a little bit different.
Okay.
He already had the eyes.
Yeah.
He had the eyes.
Yeah.
You don't have the eyes. Yet. So we have to build the eyes, and we want to keep it on a playing field where when the show rise, you rise.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
Your brand, your personal brand. So a lot of times, and I'm glad that you said that, because a lot of times people want you to market their company or help them with their media, and they're so stuck on their business that they fall away from the fact that you're a personal brand too. And your personal brand is just as important as your business brand. Because I'm a firm believer that all controversy is good controversy.
I agree.
If you know God and if you know how to use it and if you're not scared of what people think about you.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to use a person for reference. You got Pinky Cole from Slutty Vegan. You know, she going through all this stuff. She lost her company, ended up buying it back. She went bankrupt. People were talking about her because she was popping it when she was popping it.
Okay.
She opened up like 15 stores in 2 years. She was going crazy.
Okay.
You know that ego we was talking about.
Oh yeah, that.
You know what I mean? Sister
ego.
come from nothing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
big shout out to her. We praying for you. But she went to a point where, you know, people was bashing her because she was going through bankruptcy. So in going through that bankruptcy, the number one thing that I love that she did do was she turned around and made like a little song teaching people about different stages of bankruptcy. Like chapter 7 doing this and chapter 1 is doing that.
This is such
Chapter
a good
2
idea.
is doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was a good idea.
It's such a good idea. Yeah.
Because they're going to talk about you regardless.
So lean into it.
Lean into it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? My grandmother used to say they talked about Jesus, baby. You think you better than him? But understanding that while her business brand was suffering, her personal brand was being attacked. But her personal brand integrity is what kept the integrity for the business all the way around. I'm going to pause this.
Okay.